this attachment uh, that supposedly move us to become better self and emotionally sufficient as a human being, as a spiritual being, then because of become too attached, then it sabotage ourselves.
Wow.
Then hinder us to find our authentic self. Like
Right.
that.
Right. So that means attachment was supposed to be there in our life to inspire and motivate and give purpose to us. But instead, we got too emotionally and energetically invested into it that we separate ourselves from our authentic self. Welcome to Vitamin Consciousness with your host Nitesh Gianchandani. This podcast is created to make personal development easier to consume on a day-to-day basis. We call upon experts in the field to share their insight, information, and experiences and turn them into practical tools that you can apply into your life so you can become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, like, and comment on our session on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube with the name Vitamin Consciousness or the Nitesh G. Today, we are talking about attachment and how it has secretly been sabotaging our happiness. And on the second episode, we have a very special guest. He calls himself a potential growth provocateur, corporate leadership trainer, and career coach for the second largest coal mining company in Indonesia with over 13,000 employees. He has also been in business concerning creative operations and serving people's needs in multiple industries for over 20 years. So without further ado, let us welcome our guest of the day, Coach Ricky Nuriadi. Coach Ricky, welcome to Vitamin Consciousness. How are you?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. Thank you for inviting me. I'm honored and so excited by this Vitamin Consciousness podcast of yours. Oh, and welcome to all that hear us. I'm so excited, Bro Danny. Let's kick it in.
It's awesome. It's awesome. How are you doing? How's work and how's your everyday?
Work from home,
exercise,
like work from office, because it's been 20 years and I can say that I'm quite settled with myself, with my career, with my life, with my family. And I say like, I love Monday. I love my job. And that's what we're talking about. I love my job. I love my life. I love my family. And I know what I'm doing. I know my goal is because I've already overcome the attachments.
Nice. We loved it. It's not every day, right, that we can hear people say, I love Monday. Even there are times where I say, shit, it's Monday, right? So it's glad to be able to ask this, what do you call it, firsthand from you. And what I understand, you're also a life coach, correct?
Yes. I'm such blessed, like friend of mine and our professional clients, like love to have me hear their I cannot say that problem, like say they are like a mirror. It's like a clouded, it's like a foggy mirror. Then I just help to clean, to wipe the and clarity, so they can see themselves, they see their goals in a more clearer, in a more um in a more of their authentic self. I can say this like.
Beautiful. That's very
And
beautiful.
I'm honored that I can share about some of my clients and some of my stories, that I believe that will be very practical. And I also feel the energy here that will give plenty of positive things and ideas to us and also to the audience at home or everywhere.
Amazing, beautiful. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Coach Ricky. I like what you mentioned about the fog just now, right? About how a coach's duty, including yours, is to help your quote unquote your coachee, your client, to be able to be more
Mm-hmm.
clear on their path and to remove the
Mm-hmm.
fog, right? And I'd like to talk about this further later, right? But before we get
Yeah, yeah.
there, and I think because there's a lot of our audience who are listening, right, are facing that, right? At times they're having this fog, right? They don't know where to go, because most of the time when you get that fog cleared and you know where you're going, life becomes much easier, right? But definitely we'll talk about this later. First of all, Coach Ricky, can you tell us a little bit about you, your background, and what got you exactly into where you are today?
Well, most of the CV you already told at, at first, but some interesting thing that I can tell to you and to audiences, um, my background and my college, my work experience is definitely so far fetched from uh, like 20, 15, even 10 years ago to this present moment, because I was art background and IT. I was a programmer. I was a web designer 15, 20 years ago. But then there's another story. I jump into marketing. I jump into account executive, into sales, into project managing, even into game industry. Then suddenly, I'm here, become a trainer and a life coach.
Wow.
There's a long story, but I can say that all those 20 years of me finding my authentic self, removing, handling all the attachments, and wipe off, clear those foggy mirror,
Mhm.
then suddenly everything become clear. And about 3, 4 years ago, I just know this is what I want. This is my life, my job, my family. This is exactly even better what I wanted 20 years ago. This is uh, my ikigai. This is
Wow.
my purpose of life.
Beautiful, beautiful. I There are certain things that I really appreciate from what you said just now. Some of them are authentic self, and
Yeah.
then you use the word ikigai as well, which is interesting. And then you've been from another thing that I find really interesting is you moved from IT to marketing, and now you're in the people business, right? You deal with
Yeah.
coaching and training, and I mean, like it's very interesting to see that. I mean, like you've tried different industries, and right now the energy that I feel from you when you said that I found what I really wanted to do with my life is different as compared to people who say that, you know what, I like my job. So where you are right now, can you
Mhm.
say that you have been your authentic self at this point of time?
Yes.
Beautiful.
I cannot say it's 1,000 or 150, but it's 100%. I can assure you that I found my purpose and I love my job, and we must be realistic, okay? I
Yeah.
love my income, my revenue. I love
I love
what
that.
I'm doing, and I'm always like thinking about coaching, thinking about training, and learn to deepening the knowledge, the skills, and I also have acknowledgement and appreciation from my friend, from my clients, from my office college. I like, you know, it's every factors of life, that work and life balance, family, professionally, um, even my spiritual. It's like everything is already found, already accomplished. I just have to move it to reach more people, um, reach more what I'm supposed to do as my purpose here.
Beautiful.
This
I
is not over
really
yet,
like
but
that.
I know this is what I'm. Uh, everybody likes more. Most of them asking, what is the purpose that I born in this earth? What is the purpose of my life?
Yeah.
I found it. I found it, bro,
Wow.
Danny.
Wow. That's something that I would say not a lot of people in the world has the what do you call it, is lucky enough to be able to say that I found what my purpose is on earth, and you have found that. That's amazing. So I congratulate you, bro Ricky, Coach Ricky. That's amazing. So my question is, there's a lot of our audience right here who is listening, who would love to be able to live that kind of life, right? So
yeah.
In terms of so I'm going to go straight to the point, right? And then after that, probably we're going to talk a little bit general, and then we're going to go practical. So how were you able to find this purpose of yours?
By getting lost.
Getting lost. Okay.
Getting lost. At first, many of my friends, my brothers, my cousins asked, "Hey, Rick, why are you not? You're not in that office anymore." You telling, if a person from HR, from human resource, see my CV, they always say, "Hey, you're like job hopper, huh?" But this is also the thing that I want to share, that everybody like that missing something in their heart. Is like empty thing, like the hole in their heart, searching, seeking for meaning of life.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not there yet. I'm not there. I like the income, but I don't like the job. I like the job, but I don't like the income. And I just move and move on. But then I also realized in my 20 years of career, 20 years, I've also have a history of bankruptcy. I've made my own company. I I have like a small company in graphic design and advertising. We had like 8 employees, and I had to fire them all. It's the journey of being an entrepreneur, being a staff, being a designer, being a supervisor, being a manager, uh, hopping from one company to company, like getting lost, getting lost. I even find job that, hey, that's interesting. Why not I do that? Why not that? At first it's like chaos. It's like chaos. And now I can see clearly that I'm uh, in handling my goals, adjusting to what is my habit, and facing the attachment. I'm not effective enough. And now today at this time, I want to share to you. I want to share to the audience that if you know the attachments, if you uh, identify the attachment, you can get easily and not wasting like 20 years of time like me.
Right.
A lot faster. A lot faster. You can reach your goal. You can find your authentic self and become more happier in your life, in your job, in your family.
That's
Like
really
that, bro,
nice.
Danny.
That's really nice. That's really nice. I'm really happy to hear that. What do you call it? After 20 years of like kind of like going wandering, right, and really figuring out what you want to do with your life, you eventually figuring out that this is my thing. Okay, so you mentioned that means, correct me if I'm wrong, that finding your authentic self, which is your purpose or your ikigai, which is actually our true happiness, right, has to do with, I wouldn't want to say getting rid of, but managing your attachments. Is that correct?
Yeah, managing, handling, or I can say surviving the pendulum of attachment.
Okay, this is interesting. So, Broriki, can you tell us a little bit about this attachment? What is it exactly? Because there are times where we tell this is attachment. We don't really know what it is. So, can you give us a little bit?
Okay.
Yeah.
Attachment is if I send you an email, then I send you an attachment.
Okay.
Okay. It
Yeah.
it 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 could be a small file, a document, like only 70 kilobytes,
Mm-hmm.
but also it can be a short movie of 10 megabytes.
Okay.
Attachment can be small,
Mm-hmm.
attachment can be large, but you can say, hey, bro Ricky,
Mm.
Coach Ricky, I think the attachment is too big.
Mm.
Why
Mm.
don't you send me just the email and you see, attachment, it's sometimes needed, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's too big or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's too small. Okay. Now, attachment and email are some kind of like that
Mm.
attachment. Like we know attachment. What is something that attached?
Mm.
But now I want to reveal to everybody that listen to us that
Mm-hmm.
this kind of attachment can really bring you a lot faster toward your authentic self. Okay.
Right.
Attachment is making something that not a part of us, then it become part of us by making emotional and energy that invest from ourselves to it. Okay, I will rephrase. So attachment is making something that not part of us become part of us by making emotional and energy investments of ourselves to it.
Wow. That's a very
So that's attachment.
profound.
And attachment could be plenty of things. Could be many things. It could be a concept. It could be an idea. It could be a thing. It could be um, a hobby. It could be everything.
Mm.
Okay,
Okay.
that's attachment.
Okay.
To make things clearer, like because we are human, we're living being. We're living in this material world.
Mm-hmm.
Attachment is needed. Attachment is needed
It's
because
needed.
it's
Okay.
it's needed. It's needed. It's a tools. It's a tools because well, plenty of sayings that we are truly uh, energy. We are truly so trapped within this flesh. Yes, okay.
Mm.
But to
Mm.
be realistic,
Mm-hmm.
we have to eat.
Yeah.
We have to drink.
Yeah.
We have to get a job.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get salary. We have to do something, sell something to satisfy our need. So
Yeah.
this attachment is actually just a temporary. I must put bold, italic, underline that temporary. Okay,
Temporary. Okay.
tools and means. Okay, of knowledge, experience, and material thing to
Okay.
inspire, motivate, and help us have a greater sense of purpose in this material world.
Okay.
Okay,
That's okay. So sorry for
temporary
cutting you.
things.
This is very interesting.
Okay, okay.
Temporary
Yeah, yeah.
tools and means in the form of knowledge. What else? What's the other one?
Knowledge, experience,
Experience. Okay.
experience, and material things.
And the
Okay,
material things includes human beings
and
as well.
material things. Yeah,
Okay.
it could be human also. We can get attached to our mother, to our
Yeah.
girlfriend, to our
Yeah.
brother. That's material things. To
Okay.
our pet. Okay, to
Okay.
inspire and motivate, help us to have a greater sense of purpose in this
Wow.
material world.
That's a very comprehensive, what do you call it, definition. Okay.
And I have to move a little farther.
Mm-hmm.
This is okay. This sounds spiritual. This sounds like, yeah, that's too utopian. That's too what you say. In a perfect world, okay, but this is the real thing that I got now. What is spiritual? What is soul? Then wow. Then this attachment uh, that supposedly move us to become better self
Mm-hmm.
and emotionally sufficient as a human being,
Mm-hmm.
as a spiritual being,
Mm-hmm.
then because of become to attach, then it sabotage ourselves,
Wow.
then
Okay.
hinder us to find our authentic self. Like that.
Right. 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 So that means attachment was supposed to be there in our life to inspire and motivate and give purpose to us. But
Mm.
instead, we got too emotionally and energetically invested into it that we separate
Yeah.
ourselves from our authentic self.
Yeah.
Right.
That
Okay.
perhaps I can give you some uh, example that so everybody can get a clear grasp of this concept of attachment. Like
Yeah.
attachment is like uh, okay, when you learning to ride a bike,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
a bicycle, then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people need extra two wheels that help you to balance. So it's no longer two wheel
It's
bike, but
four
four wheel.
wheels. All right. When we started learning bike for the first time, yeah,
Yeah,
I remember
when
that.
you're a
Yeah, I had
kid.
that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That attachment to the real bike helps you to learn the balance, to get the hang of, uh, pedaling your bike, right?
Correct.
That when you get the hang of it, your dad will say, "Okay, now it's time. Get off of those uh, uh, wheels. Get off those extra wheels.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Just use
and
two
use
wheels.
your bike. Yeah, without that,
Right.
that is attachment. So somebody that get too attached is like somebody that using those extra small wheels within the bike until
Forever.
yeah, forever.
I see. I think
Can
I
you
think that
imagine?
that makes it. I think that makes it more clear for us to understand what attachment is. So we are there, and we are riding the bike with two wheels, but because it helps us, attachment in the beginning helps us because the two wheels help us balance out, right? But we got
Yeah.
too emotionally and energetically invested into the two wheels, so much so that we don't want to leave the two wheels, the extra two wheels, that we become
Mm.
attached to it. When actually we could just do with just the two wheels, the two original wheels of the bike.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's it.
okay, that's interesting. So that makes it even more clear. So in this case, if we talk about the example of the bike, our authentic self is what? Our authentic self is riding with the two wheels.
Mm, yeah, you can say that. You can say that. So it's like why at first time I say it's foggy mirror or smoky mirror,
Mm-hmm.
like when um in front of mirror you like then it
Yeah.
become smoky, then you
Yeah.
cannot see yourself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um when actually the authentic self is already there, is there,
Yeah.
the clear mirror. And the authentic self, I must say, okay, um actually as a human being, as a what we are now, we are already blessed with the ability to solve problem, with the uh, powerful uh, thinking ability, powerful abilities that already within us.
Okay.
So actually, uh, like the bike without the extra wheel, like the
Mm-hmm.
bike without the extra wheel, that our authentic self. Actually, there are no idea, no object or knowledge that we need to be complete when we see ourselves as a perfect human being.
Yeah.
So if you see somebody that push himself too hard, okay,
Yeah.
so that person is attached to a ideal form of working,
Mm-hmm.
that then he then punish himself. Why I don't work like that? I must work like that. I must work the attachment, something like that. But I can to get this even more landing it, to get more landing into daily life.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps I can help the audience, and I can tell you a story about soccer.
Yeah. Sure. Please. I
I can
love
tell you a
soccer.
story about soccer.
I love soccer.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Me too. Me too. When I was in college, I love soccer too. Uh, then now I realize that I become too attached to the soccer. Okay, the, there are 5 levels of attachment.
Five
So
levels of
it's like,
attachment.
so it's a very humanly thing to everybody have attachment.
Right.
Okay, okay. Um, but the level, how deep is the attachment is to the person,
Mm-hmm.
then causing the real problem, causing the real getting the mirror to getting more foggy and smoky. Okay,
Okay.
the first level is so it's like no attachment.
The
Uh,
first level is no attachment.
it's
That's
no
is
attachment.
that our authentic self?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's yourself. It's like your soul, your very being, your energy that move your body, your hand, your leg, give energy to your mind and soul that we are living now. That's our
Mhm.
authentic self.
Right.
Okay,
Right. So
without any
that's who
attachment.
we really are.
Okay, then if I connect to a concept of soccer, then
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we just see soccer, come to some stadium,
Mm-hmm.
watch the soccer.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really care who playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Then after the game ends, win or lose, any
Doesn't
team
matter.
win, any team lose, it doesn't matter. Then you go
Right.
on with your life.
Yeah.
You just enjoy. You clap your hand. Wow, fantastic goal! Wow,
Yeah.
the man is falling. Wow, wow. Okay, that's your authentic self. No
Right.
attachment.
Okay.
Ah,
So that's our
then
authentic self.
the authentic self. Then it come to second level of attachment. It's
Mm-hmm.
preference. Preference.
Preference. Okay. So that's the second level.
Preference. Yes, the second level is then you prefer to some form of ideal thing that attached to yourself, and
Right.
now you root for one team. Okay,
Okay.
you have prefer that team,
Okay.
prefer that a certain stadium,
Uh-huh.
prefer some kind of quality of game. The game perhaps must be professionally played. Okay,
Okay.
you
Okay.
enjoy the ups and down of the great game, but after that you're still able to let go.
Right. So that's the
But
second
then
level
you
preference.
second level
So that
preference.
means, okay,
But
if I got you correctly, that
mm-hmm.
means,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I'm still the best. I'm still being myself, but it's just that I think it would be good if it's just like a small version of attachment.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. It will be good if I eat sushi rather than nasi padang. It
Right.
will be good.
But even if I don't, it's fine.
Yeah, it's
Or
okay.
or does
It's
it
okay.
have to be that? When it comes to
Yes, yes, okay.
preference, even if it's not like that, you're still fine with that. You're like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Okay.
the positive thing about preference then you learn to appreciate a good game of soccer.
Right, right. Because you have
Now
you
that's what the positive why we need attachment help us to
okay.
appreciate.
Okay, so that's
Uh,
preference. That's still not. That's still
Preference.
pretty okay, right? To have preference is still
Yeah, yeah,
fine.
that's very humanly thing that I have preference.
Right, right, right,
I believe
right.
many of our listeners are also have preference. Now
Definitely,
move to
definitely.
the third level of attachment is identity.
Identity. That's number
Identity.
three.
Identity. Yeah.
Okay.
Identity. And then you committed fan of one team. You committed to
Okay.
certain team,
Uh
and
huh.
then you committed to certain country, committed to
Mm-hmm.
certain stadium,
Mm.
a certain condition, and then
Okay.
uh, while you still enjoy drinking a coffee with the
Mm-hmm.
opposing fan, okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but then when this attachment become your identity, okay,
Mm-hmm.
the walls that separate between your life and the attachment become to collapse. Okay, so
Okay.
if you have identity toward this attachment, let's say for soccer, then you see other thing that doesn't relate at all with soccer,
Mm-hmm.
you relate it with soccer.
So that's identity.
Identity, because it's becoming your identity. You're becoming
Right.
like, I'm a fan of um, Barcelona. I'm a fan of uh, Fiorentina. I'm a fan of uh, AS Roma. Anything you can say. Okay.
Okay, so that
Real Madrid.
means okay. So if I got you correctly, I really like that the fact that you're using football team as an example. I think it's a very easy way to use this, right? I mean, like, so that means if I'm at a level 3 level of attachment with a certain football club, right? That means I
Yeah.
don't anymore identify myself as who I really am, but I identify myself as FC ABC fan.
Yeah. You begin to relate. At first, that doesn't have any connection at all. Then you relate it within your life. Then you become to buy certain jersey, and then you become to buy certain poster. But it's okay. You can still have a coffee with your opposing fan.
Opposing fan. For
It's
example,
okay.
in terms of work, like I'm an employee or I'm an employee of company ABC, stuff like that. Is that
Yeah.
what we are? Okay, okay. So that's identity.
Yes.
We kind of
Identity.
separate ourselves from who we really are, and we identify ourselves with things that are outside of us. But it's still at an okay level, right? It's still not.
I
What do you call?
Yeah. This is okay level, but then the sign of danger being too attached start at that point, at
Okay,
the
so
third
it's
level.
it's already started. The red flag has started to appear over
Yeah,
here.
the red flag.
Okay,
Watch yourself. This
okay. Don't
is when you can go to level 4 and level 5.
Okay, okay. So before we get to level 4 and level 5, bro, I have a question. This is pretty interesting
Yeah,
since we mentioned, right? A lot of us in our lives have preferences, we have identity, right? We are always juggling, probably even in level 4 or 5, towards certain aspect of our life.
yeah.
How dangerous is attachment if we get to level 4, level 5, level 3, as compared to being at level 1? Why is it dangerous? And why is it sabotaging our happiness?
Okay. So I can say that when you become something else that not your authentic self,
Mm-hmm.
then you become lost. Then you become lost. Your goals become distorted. Your
Okay,
way of work become distorted.
okay,
Your habits begin to um, distorted into a way that other people that um, don't have your attachment
mm-hmm.
then become separate from you.
Okay,
It's
so this
also
is okay, okay,
push you
yeah.
away from your authentic self and your true goal. I think that's the danger.
Wow. Okay, I love that you mentioned that you become distorted. So when you mentioned in the beginning the fog, is this what you meant by the fog?
Yeah, yeah. So actually here, the fog, the I can say that
Mm-hmm.
smoky mirror. Oh, by the way, I must say that the concept of five level of attachment and smoky mirror, um, inspired from Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. He who first write the concept of five level attachment, and I I get so inspired, and wow, this is
Really good
such
concept.
easy, and yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, such
yeah.
easy, and give me like, wow, that 20 years I get to attach that kind of level of attachment, and then I have this chance to share with you and the listeners.
Yeah.
So um, actually, beside the attachment that we choose to attach, okay,
Yeah.
I must give this. I must emphasize this. You choose to attach, okay.
Okay.
Actually, there is nobody in this world force you to attach, okay.
Yeah.
You choose to attach,
Yeah.
okay. Ah, I choose to attach myself to a certain team. Choose to attach myself to a certain hobby, okay. But
Mm-hmm.
okay, this what make things complicated. This what make things um, even the challenge is even bigger because we have what I call um, domestication. Okay, this is another
Domestication.
term.
Okay.
I really sorry. I usually I tend to make things simpler, but I have to bring out this term like of domestication
That's all right.
because
Yeah, that's okay.
we
This
human
is
when we
interesting.
born, yeah, we got domesticated by our mother, our father, our brother, our environment, our school, teacher,
Mm-hmm.
everybody is domesticating ourselves to fit toward their domesticated self and attachment first. So
Okay.
uh, that's also what making our mirror it's foggy, smoky. Those smoky mirror is about our self that choose to attach and the domestication. Okay,
Okay.
domestication. I must.
Domestication. Yeah.
Domestication is like I have to make things simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I love the sample of wolf. You know wolf,
Wolf. Wolf. Yeah.
like oh, okay.
Yeah. 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 Well, that
Okay.
sounds exactly like a wolf, by the way.
So wolf is in Latin. Latin is Canis lupus. That
Canis lupus.
wolf. Okay.
Okay.
But then uh, our pet dog, that
Yeah.
Canis familiaris.
Yeah.
And you know what? Canis familiaris is actually a domesticated version of wolf
Right.
that because it's thousands of years of process, then become new species. Okay.
And there is the dogs that we have at home right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we release the dog in the middle of the wood,
Mm-hmm.
can it survive? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Can it have the ferocity, the strength, the survivability of a wolf? I don't know. I think not.
Yeah, correct.
You see, the real power, the real potential within the gene of Canis lupus, it become degraded to a more suitable, domesticated to our attachment.
Right, and that's done by nature.
Because human love to have a pet.
Right. So that's done by nature, right? Nature kind of like turns wolf into
nature, human, environment, and we human also have that. We have domestication and we have attachment, and that making our mirror become foggier and smokier.
Right. So domestication, I really like your example of wolves. That means wolves, because it started as being a very ferocious animal, because of domestication, quote unquote, right? It became the dog that we have at home today. Now, when it comes to a human being, when you speak about domestication, what you mean is labeling. Is that what you're trying to? Is that what you're trying to?
Perhaps I can say that labeling is one among another cause of domestication.
Okay, so
domestication also causes what we call a mental block.
Right. So that means it's everything we experience since we were a child.
Yes, that's domestication.
Okay.
Some people call it education. Some people call it manner. But actually, everything is domestication to make you suitable a certain condition, a certain attachment that created within the community.
Right. So domestication. I really like that. I mean, I don't really like that because it's not in our control, right? But I really like the way you put it. Domestication. That means there are two kinds of attachment. I mean, despite of the 5 levels, right? One is the one that we chose on our own. Another one is the thing that we didn't choose. That is domestication.
I can say that. Okay, that's it. One is beyond our control, and one is within our control.
Within our control. Okay.
But when you realize you are domesticated, then you can choose to overcome that.
Right.
Within a process, of course. Okay, I have this example from the book from Don Miguel. He said that when my grandmother say you have to eat all of your food because it is a sin if you don't eat all of the food. Okay,
right. Yeah,
it's a good thing. It's a good thing, and a good intentionality also. Okay, his grandmother told him a good thing to eat all of your food. Then it become domestication for himself. Then everywhere he go, he always get the food and eat it all. Then become the problem of obesity.
Right. Okay. Okay. I get that. I get that.
You get it?
So that means it's like subconscious programming.
Yeah. You can say that.
Okay. I get that. So domestication is the subconscious programming we receive since we were a child by our parents, by our teachers, by our friends, by our environment, and that becomes an attachment.
Yes.
Okay. This is interesting. And as you mentioned, the more attached we are to something, the less we are the less authentic we are, and that means the more unhappy we become because our mindset is distorted.
Yes.
Perfect. Beautiful. Okay. So that means we were talking about the 3 levels of attachment before this, right? We have reached until appreciate. Now we are going further. And as what I understand, level 4 and level 5 is already pretty dangerous. Is that correct?
Yes, my brother.
Okay. So
what is level 4 and level 5 is?
Okay. So what exactly is level 4 and level 5?
I must recap a little bit about the first is your authentic self.
Yeah.
It's like no attachment. You watch a ball game, then after all, after the whistle, then win or lose, okay, bye. It's a good game. Bye.
Yeah.
The second is preference. You prefer for one team, but you can still talk with another team. It's okay. You just choose. Okay, this is a better game. This is not professional. I prefer a professional game, but you are still able to let go.
Yeah.
Then it becomes identity. You're a committed fan. You're still able to enjoy coffee with the opposing fan, but then the reality between the attachment then yourself become to merge.
Right.
Then the identity, then you become to wear the symbol. You become to talk about it, even though your friend doesn't ask about it.
Yeah.
You become to relate every conversation with soccer.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
It's identity. Now, like I said, it's if you know you're in this level of attachment, you should have the awareness. Wow, what? Then ask yourself, am I too attached or not? Because the level 4 of attachment is internalization. Okay. Internalization. The attachment is becoming more of you and you becoming more of attachment. It's not longer, it's no more identity. It's more than that. Okay. Your if you love one team, let's say, I must say, Fiorentina. If you love the team Fiorentina, then the Fiorentina performance in the game affects your self-worth.
Right.
And it becomes your happiness, your mood. Then it become acceptance versus rejection, even though it's a team and it's you.
Right.
But then it become everything that rejects the what attach you. Then it become get personal with you. Right. Oh, you don't like the team? Oh, okay. I know now. Oh, you're not my friend.
Okay. That makes sense. So that means your happiness and your sadness now starts to rely on that attachment.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I think this is starting to shed some light on our listeners, right? They might be starting to think, Oh, right. I now starts to get where this is going, right? Because after this, bro, after we're talking about the 5 levels, I wanted to talk a little bit about how this applies to our life, for our relationship, and
Mm,
for our career, for our setting goals.
mm,
But
mm.
that means at level 4, internalization, you are further away from your authentic self, and your happiness relies on something that's outside of you.
Yeah. Then
Okay.
it becomes negative emotion like fear. Fear.
Right.
Then you get offended a lot.
Yeah.
Fear then comes at this level 4. Fear will come when your attachment are threatened. Then we defend because we
Right.
think it also threaten us.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You see?
Very true. This is very true. And I think like a lot of us can relate with that absolutely, right? When there's this version, not version, when there's this life, part of our life that is threatened, we get into survival mode and we start getting
Yeah.
scared.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So that's level 4. What about level 5?
Okay. I'm guessing you already know what is the level 5 is.
Is it
And that is,
fanatism?
I think what I believe this is what causing many problems in this world, from war even to this COVID-19.
Yeah.
This is what we call a fanatism.
Fanatism.
Fanatism. In soccer,
Hmm.
in fanatism, you worship your team.
Right.
Yeah. And opposing fan is enemy. Okay.
Okay.
In your eyes, a true fan is willing to die and kill for soccer team and soccer heroes.
Wow. Okay. So it
Then
means,
the
yeah,
attachment replace yourself, no longer you. There is
it
no longer,
replaces yourself.
it replaces yourself.
So they are no more connected to who they really are, but they are more
No more.
connected to that attachment of theirs.
Replaced.
Wow. Wow. This is really
Replaced.
deep.
Then this is when I remember my friend when I get too attached to a game online at that
Hmm.
time,
Hmm.
um, at my college years. Like, hey man, you're losing yourself.
Mm.
This is only game.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
But
Yeah.
now I realize, yes, at that time I'm losing myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No
Yeah.
longer me, no longer Ricky, but it is all about the character. It's about the game, the world that I'm playing. No longer Ricky. Only it, only the attachment. That's fanatism, bro.
That's in, I mean, of course, like I'm sure we have ever been at different part of our lives, right, where we are fanatically attached to something, and that means you are no longer, when talking about this particular aspect, right, you're no longer who you are. That means you're no longer thinking right, but you are attaching yourself to that thing. Now this is interesting, bro. I mean, like this 5 level of attachment, I'm sure now people are like, our listeners are starting to understand how this is related to their life. I have a question, bro. How does this
Mm,
5 level of attachment
mhm.
relate with our everyday working life, for example? For example, I'm a professional. How does this
Okay.
affect me in terms of work?
Okay. Um, if I may rehearse the what is attachment is,
Yeah.
it's about a concept, it's about an idea,
Mm-hmm.
it's about a thing also. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it also about uh, ideal form or ideal memory of things. Also,
Mm-hmm.
a thing of concept that somebody believe in. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for example, like I say, um, a new employee. This is a fresh graduate. Then he or she enter a job.
Mm-hmm.
Then he attached to an idea
Mm-hmm.
as a cool, cool employee, in the in the big city, having salary, then having friends, working in a building, having having that idea attached, then then I can become manager, then I can get this kind of salary. But I have to separate this with a goal. Okay. Attachment, it's when you attach to a goal. It's different. A goal, it's something you set, then you strive toward your goal. Okay. But then if you get to attach to the goal, then it's become attachment.
It becomes an attachment.
Attachment. Then it's no longer you. Then it's become your imagination, that fear of future.
Right. Okay. So this is interesting.
Your authentic self.
This is very interesting.
Okay. That's new. That's new worker. I must also add this also. Also, this is also a problem for senior leaders.
Senior leaders as well. Okay.
Senior leaders, when he get to attach to the past success. Okay. Past success, when he, 10 years ago I made this, 5 years ago I was at this position, I am a project manager of this, I made this, I have this acknowledgement, I have so many thing that I give to this company, then this company no longer appreciate me. You see, that leader attached to the past memories. He cannot let go. He cannot let go. That also sabotage him or herself.
So that means
because
new employees.
His fanatism to the idea. Yeah.
So okay. That's interesting. I like the way you put it there. So that means there's two kinds of attachment that can happen in working as a professional, right? That's like new employees are oftentimes attached to their idea of the future, and senior employees, senior leaders, managers, directors, right? They're attached to what has happened to them in the past. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can say that.
Right. Okay. So this and okay. So how is this? For example, we have our audience here who are working in a company, or for example, they're starting a business or something like that, right? How does this attachment of the future and attachment of the past affect their performance and affect their happiness?
Okay. Like I said before, it's not that the past cannot become lesson.
Yeah.
And I also said that what you want in the future, I don't say that it doesn't give you motivation. No. Okay. But when you set a goal or you make a lesson of your past things, past achievements, then if you don't make that as a attachment, then you can focus on your present moment.
Okay.
Then you focus on the present moment. Then if you focus on the present moment, if you focus on what you can do now as a human being, as an employee, as your authentic self, without distorted with those punishing yourself when you doesn't reach your ideal form of how you work, your position, your salary, your college, your even your working room, or this happen now, work from home, or whatever condition. When you attach to that ideal, then you become to punish yourself. Right. Then you don't live in the present moment.
Okay.
Then it will hinder you from finding your authentic self.
Right.
Then you will find another way. Then you will find another way to blame others, to justify your bad performance. So that attachments, like I said, it distort you are now here at this present moment, at what you are.
Right, right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Because, like I must say again, there are no idea, no object or knowledge that we need to be complete when see ourselves as a perfect human being.
If we really talk
So
about reality, yeah, that means we actually don't need things outside of us to be happy. If you actually we really talk about it.
yeah, yeah, we need that as a motivation. We need that as a lesson. We need that as a temporary tools, as a temporary um like inspiration or means to help us to have a greater sense of purpose in this what we call earth like now,
Mm-hmm,
in
mm-hmm,
this material world.
mm-hmm.
Yes, but when you get to attach, it will distort you.
Right.
It
I,
will,
so
like I said.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think there's something very interesting about what you said, and I'd like to clarify about this. Right. So that means
Mm-hmm.
I really like when you said that we actually don't need things to be happy. That is outside of us,
Okay.
right? But when we talk about the context of
Okay.
professionalism, working in a company or starting a business or having a goal, right? New
Yeah.
employees are often too, what do you call it, too attached to the idea of the future, and the senior leaders are too attached to the idea of the past. Now, you've already clarified about the senior leaders learning from the past, in the fact that,
Mm.
the past
Mm.
should only be a lesson, but what you should really be is here right now in this present moment. Otherwise, it will be difficult for
Yeah.
you to adapt, correct? Like,
Yes.
for example,
Yes.
at this point of time, right? People who are too
Yeah.
attached to the idea of working in a cubicle, a 9 to 5, will find it very tough to adapt to working at
Yeah.
home. Now, okay, I think that's pretty clear. I have a question regarding the people who have attachment towards the future. Now, we set goals. I think you mentioned that, right? We set goals. So, how do you get this to the sweet spot between getting too attached to the goal and at the same time
Mm-hmm.
being at your authentic self so it doesn't rob you of your happiness?
Okay. So it's like this. In finding your authentic self, if I learn from my past of 20 years searching my ikigai now,
Mm-hmm.
I get lost. I
Yeah,
get lost
yeah.
because there are too many attachment that distorted this sabotage in way I'm making goals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, Everybody had perhaps professionals and entrepreneurs also perhaps familiar about the concept of smart goals, like
Yeah,
specific, measurable, attainable, um, time bound,
yeah,
and realistic. Okay,
yeah, yeah.
that that also applies. Make goals.
Mm-hmm.
We have to make goals. Everybody have if they have target, they make goals.
Yeah.
Okay, the goal itself, it's okay. The goal is
Mm-hmm.
itself is okay, but in finding our authentic self, the goal have to be agile.
Right.
So 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 the goal can be adjusted toward what we are facing now.
Okay.
But I don't say that we have to change the goal every now and then. Now, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we adapt, we learn, then we have findings, then we sharpen the goals. Then we sharpen the
Right.
goals because if I see myself, I can. My goal is to have a car.
Mm,
My
mm,
goal
mm,
is to have a house. My
mm,
goal is
mm.
to have this kind of job. Uh, to have this kind of girl.
Yeah.
I have goals. But when to attach to the goal, then it become no longer smart.
Right. So that means attached to the goal in the sense that I think I've ever read like a quote on this, right? Be stiff, be stern on your goals, but be
Mhm.
flexible on the path. Is that correct?
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Thank you. That's one quote that I will hold to.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I think
You have the
that's
goal,
very, yeah, yeah,
but flexible, and the goal is growing. Yeah, I love it.
yeah.
I love it.
So you become very flexible on the attempt, but you're stern on what you want, and I think that's that's the way to be happy, achieving it. Otherwise, you'll be breaking your head every day trying to, like, why am I not achieving it? Why am I not achieving it? Why am I not? Is that what you're trying? Is that what attachment over here means?
Yeah, yeah. Then you
Right.
begin to punish yourself. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Punish yourself is, I'm not saying like doing a hard work. No, different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing the kind of work that harder, smarter, or using another way toward your goal. That's okay.
Right.
That's okay.
Right.
That's flexibility. That's
Yeah.
flexibility. But you're doing something, then you attach to the goal. Then why I don't have the house? Oh man, I'm already this age. Why don't I already have a car? That's to attach to the goal.
Right. Right. So I think over here, in terms of setting goals for our listeners to take note, right? I think there's two things here, bro. That from what I've noted down from what you had to say, yeah. Number one
Mm-hmm.
is on setting goals, uh, like be stern on the objective, but be flexible on the attempt towards that, right? That means that's how you're going to get to the goal. And number two is from
Okay.
what you just mentioned, right? That means a goal is just like it's just something for you to direct your attention towards, but your
Yeah.
happiness doesn't really rely on the goal, it relies on who you are.
It's like you wish, keep it in your heart, then release to the universe.
Yeah, but eventually your happiness don't rely on the goal, but it relies on your authentic
Yeah.
self. Okay,
Yes. You're
that's
still toward it.
beautiful.
You're still toward it. You're
Mm-hmm,
still on it. You're
mm-hmm,
still on it.
mm-hmm,
You know it. Um, I must say that plenty of um, coaches that ask me, Coach Ricky, when do I know that I'm toward the right goal?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, that's wonderful. Everybody had their own moments. Everybody had their own. Aha, yeah, this is this is the right way. Okay, but
Mm-hmm,
I must say that when you after you doing something,
mm-hmm,
after you're doing something, then you have somebody come to you sincerely
mm-hmm.
and saying thank you, what you've done is very meaningful for me, then
Yeah,
you are on the right track.
right, right.
In the silent moment after you work your ass out,
Mm-hmm,
then you have these tears along your cheek, and you
mm-hmm.
have this, yes, I've passed this day and I know this is good. You know it. And
Yeah,
that only happen if you within your authentic self.
yeah,
You
I
know
agree
it.
with that. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. It's eventually that process towards achieving the goal when you are helping other people. That's the true happiness that we
Yeah.
have. Okay, okay. I think that's a very beautiful way to explain it about the goal, bro. I think our listener here are starting to understand, right, how to really achieve the goal. That means number one, be stern on the goal, but be flexible on the path. That way you're enjoying the journey. And number two is your happiness don't really rely on the achieving the goal itself, but on who you really are. And the goal is kind of like just something for you to direct. I think when you shift your perspective towards that, things starts to change. Yeah. So,
Mm.
bro, I have another question. I think before we get to like a real life experience that you have, in terms of
Yeah.
relationships, like some of us are single, some of us have a
Yep.
relationship, some of us are married, some of us have kids, right? And
Yep.
attachment is a very big part of relationship, right? It's so tough for us to not get attached to someone that we love. And there are times also that this attachment leads to disappointment. So how do you balance out? How do you find the sweet spot when it comes to attachment in a relationship?
Okay. This is sound um romantically ideal.
Yeah, it has to be.
You know, yeah. you just know it when you find your I'm a serious. It's not like true love or your I can say this future spouse with greater possibility of happiness.
Okay. That's
You
it.
just
I'm
know it
taking notes, by
when
the way.
okay. I, I'm saying like there will be more unconditional love than conditional love. Oh, okay, this is one term.
Interesting.
Because attachment will make you conditional love. You only love if he only love if then it's attached to a concept, then it become conditional love. Okay, if um when somebody like why you don't wear that dress, why uh why don't you take off your glasses? It become with small things first, then hey, this is prom night, you should not wear that kind of thing, man. It's so outdated, you should wear this, I bought it, then you don't want to wear it, what the hell in your mind? You see, then it becomes conditional. Conditional. Why you don't do this? I love you if you do this. That attachment.
Wow, that's a very profound way to put it, right? And I think it hits it right in the nail. Unconditional love versus conditional love. So unconditional love is when, okay, can you tell us a little bit about the difference between unconditional and conditional? Okay, conditional just now we've already explained, but what about unconditional and how can it make relationships better?
Unconditional love is, I'm not saying that like my love life is perfect or my family or my wife is perfect. No.
Yeah.
And that is unconditional love. Because I know I'm not perfect and my wife is not perfect. And plenty of things when I do think that I expect the response will be this kind of thing, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Then because this is, I know unconditional love, then it's okay. There are times that I wash the dishes, I wash the dishes and I expect my wife to say thank you or, oh, you are so nice, you wash the dishes.
Right.
But then the response is just, oh, you wash the dishes. Okay.
So there's a real life story.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know that washing clothes for family of 4 is like 1 hour and a half. The quality is same like 1 hour and a half in gym.
Definitely. I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And I do that because I want to make my wife happy. Then after that, oh, you wash. Okay.
The response you get is not what you expect.
Unconditional love is I will love her if he say thank you in certain kind of way.
That's conditional.
Oh, you're so, yeah, that's conditional love.
Right. Okay.
And that's only in your head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only in your head. Right. And when your expectation and you get to attach to your expectation and what happened in reality doesn't get you there, and you get to attach, and that gap causing you happiness, unhappiness.
Right.
If you got unconditional love, there is nothing to worry about.
Because the happiness,
I love you.
Yeah.
Whatever the condition.
Because your happiness don't rely on the other people, but your happiness rely on yourself, on your authentic self.
Yeah. And when we become our authentic self, the happiness shine from you.
Wow.
You are the source. You are the source of happiness. You are the star. Each of us within our soul, if we don't get those kind of attachment, if we got the clear mirror, if we know the um, domestication and we aware of that, and we know that we can be happy without it, we become the source of what we want.
Beautiful, beautiful. That is very profound. That is very profound. So that means if you are in a relationship, and correct me if I'm wrong, what I got from you is if you're in a relationship, there are just two options to that. Like either you become, like either you give out unconditional love or conditional love. And when you give out unconditional love, you are happiness already in the sense that you don't need other people to make you happy and you're just giving love.
Yes,
is that correct?
Bro Danny. Yes.
Beautiful. So, bro, I have a question. So, how does our listener who are right now learning to improve how their relationship probably with their husband, with their children, with their boyfriend, girlfriend, or their friends, or whoever, what can they do today itself in terms of attachment so that they can have a more fruitful relationship?
Okay. First of all, find your authentic self. Clear
Find
the mirror.
your authentic self. Okay, so it's for them first. Yeah?
Handle all of your attachment, then find your authentic self. And how to find your authentic self? And now begin to take the responsibility in yourself of what within your control.
Okay.
What within your control.
Okay.
Within your control. Then when you realize it's all about unconditional love and happiness is within you.
Yeah.
And you are the star, you are the source of happiness, then it's all back to you. It's all back to you. So it's not like, my husband is so lazy. It's like, it's awake at 11 every morning, so lazy. I'm hoping he throws the dirty clothes everywhere on the floor, so messy. That's unconditional. Sorry, that's conditional love.
Right. Right.
And
so
that's make your mirror smoky because your happiness is determined by other.
Right. 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 That's very practical. So it means find your authentic self and take responsibility that everything in your life, your happiness, is in your hands.
Yes.
Okay. 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 And that like, do they have to also see the authentic self of the other person, or does that already reflect on its own?
Yes. It begin with you.
Okay.
It begin with you.
Right.
Because everybody will find their own way toward their authentic self. But we cannot push, we cannot force other to find you must be happy, brother Dan, you must be a happy person. Unfortunately, you cannot do that.
That's not how it works.
Now you become happy first. You become the star.
Yeah.
Then you can inspire others to be happy.
Wow, that's beautiful. So when you become the star, you allow the people around you. So when you become who you are and you are comfortable in your own skin, you kind of allow the people around you to be comfortable in their skin as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know one public speaker that is profoundly is, and I just know that he is like MBA master in several university and what like so humble, so humble and funny, and you know what he talk is not like the motivator we know like Tony Robbins or who the motivator or public speaker we know that have a clear voice, a majestic, deep voice. No.
Yeah.
His voice like blah blah blah, and have a funny accent of Indonesian accent. He talk English in Indonesian.
Yeah.
I said, hey, so interestingly, he found his authentic self.
Right. I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah. And I agree. He's very humble. Very, very humble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's public speaking, and it's also in leadership, in office leadership, in entrepreneurship, also in friendship. You know, those kind of people that authentic. You know it. You know it. They don't wear skins. They don't wear uh what is it, masks. They just be themselves, funny as hell, or uh, on the other hand, like scary as hell. But he is that she that him. You know that,
that's
those kind of people really make impact. Yeah,
agree. I agree with that. And you feel comfortable being around people like that.
Yeah, comfortable. You suddenly you just trust those people.
Right.
You know it. You can trust with your heart.
Right. That's very profound. I really love what you mentioned about being the star. And when you become the star, you allow the people around you to also become comfortable with their own skin. That's amazing, bro. Um, wow, we've spoken about a couple of topics today. We've spoken about the 5 levels of attachment. We've spoken about the fog, right, and what really don't allow people to become happy. And then we spoke about the 5 levels of attachment, and then how attachment can distort your personality, right, and your vision, and then what does it have to do with professional life, and then how to set goals, and also now in terms of relationship, bro. I want one last question, right? So that means today, our listener who is listening, right, what is the aha moment, the simple tip, the very easy, okay, this is what you have to do today, that they can apply today itself so that they can become a better person?
Okay, there are like three simple thing, and one should be simple, but many people say, "Oh, Coach Ricky, that's too hard." So it's fourth thing.
Yeah.
But I have to share the hard tips, the hard way first.
Yeah.
And when you when you found yourself, you found your authentic self, it become very, very easy, very extremely easy. You know what?
What's that?
The first tip I can give you is forgive yourself.
Forgive yourself. Okay.
Forgive yourself for having attachment, for being to attach with your boyfriend. Forgive yourself first. We are human. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Don't push ourselves. Don't push yourself. That's us human.
Yeah.
It's really a humanly thing to do to have attachment.
Right.
Okay, that's first thing. Forgive.
Forgive yourself. Okay.
You talk to yourself. I know I have attachment. I forgive myself, and I want to find my authentic self. And now this is my time to begin searching and clearing my mirror.
Beautiful.
That's it.
Beautiful.
Okay. At first, it's perhaps difficult, but when you in your journey, you will find it easier within time. That first. Second tip is expand your network, bro.
Expand your network. Okay.
Expand your network. Find new friends. And new friend mean not the type that you usually hang out with.
Okay.
New friend. New friend that especially the one that you awkward with. If you watch movies, there will be like jocks and nerds and the pretty ones.
Right. So people who are different than you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Expand your network.
Okay. Expand your network. What's the significance behind that?
Okay, when you know other people, when you get a new acquaintance, then you know first
Mhm.
they have different attachment than you,
Correct. Yeah,
and they don't
absolutely.
really care about your attachment.
Right, right. So you're trying to talk about
Soccer,
what you like, and
yeah.
they're like, what are you talking about? I've been there a lot. Been
Soccer
there a
just
lot.
a waste of time, bro.
That's more of like, I don't know, patience management.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
If you really want to overcome your attachment, if you really want to find your authentic self, you will do it.
right.
You will overcome this uneasiness. You will overcome this awkwardness when you know somebody that doesn't like what you like.
Yeah, yeah.
Then you begin to learn to adapt, to adjust. Then in the process, you are lowering your attachment level in the
Right,
process.
right. So that means you also realize that the world don't revolve around you.
Yeah.
There are other people out there with different beliefs, different understanding. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
At first, I
that's a
was
very good tip.
surprised when I talked to you. Don't know Marvel. Marvel is like uh Iron Man, Hulk. No, who are there? Oh my god, you don't
That must be very
you
depressing.
don't know Thanos. You don't know Avengers.
That
No,
must be
why
very
should I
depressing.
care? And that question make me think. Yeah, why should he care? Why should everybody care about Avengers?
Correct. And I think that way you start thinking that, you know what, instead of trying to talk about me, and because you're trying to build a relationship with them, let's start listening more towards them. And the way you forget your attachment
Yeah,
and you become who you are. Okay,
yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
tip, man. Beautiful tip. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this one out because this is very counterintuitive as compared to what people tell, right? In fact, people used to say
Yeah,
that find the people that are similar to you. Now, this is okay. This is something new.
yeah. Because it's need awareness
Correct.
and willpower.
It teaches you
Awareness.
to be
When you
conscious.
aware, yeah, consciousness. Really
Right.
need your vitamin consciousness.
Thank you for that. So, okay, so forgive yourself, expand your network. That's very good. What else, bro? What else can they do? Can we
Okay,
do?
um, that is finding um, new network. Okay, expanding your network. The second is break your habit.
Break
Break
your
your
habit.
habit.
Okay.
Break
What
your
does
habit.
this mean?
Break your habit. It's like when you um, watch movie every week, then don't watch. Mm.
Okay.
Or break your habit means create a new one or
Okay.
lose an old one.
Okay.
This is some people will say, "Oh, coach, this is really hard." No, no. It all depends on how much you want to change. It within you. You are the star.
Right.
You don't need anything else. The ability, the power, the happiness is within yourself. Is within ourselves. If you have the 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 motivation, if you really want it,
Mm-hmm.
you can change your habit. You can break your habit. You no longer wear those uh, jerseys. You no longer call your boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like you know the song from Dua Lipa, New Rules. Na
Yeah.
na
Yeah.
na 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 na. That breaking habit.
Right. Right.
No
Right.
longer call. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. That new habit.
Because habit is in a way attachment as well, right?
Yeah, because attachment creates your habit, and your habit deepens your attachment.
Wow, this is another aha moment for me. Attachment creates habit, and habit further reinforces attachment.
Yeah, further reinforce getting
Okay.
your higher in the level of attachment.
Wow. So breaking your habit, yeah, that's something that we need to consider. Maybe we can like what are the practical things they can do to break their habits? Should they like write down all their habits and just like pick what they need to change, or how does that work?
Okay. When I got the habit of buying action figure, I
Mm-hmm,
have a
mm-hmm.
confession.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
a action figure toy collector. When I realized um, my wife wakes me up new relative,
Okay.
bang,
Wow.
yeah, and it's like, why such attached to this thing? Then I break habit. Then I expand my network.
Okay.
I find new people.
Okay.
Then I no longer watch the YouTube that I used to watch. That's one thing. Then usually at a coaching session,
Mm-hmm,
when I had a chance to provoke a real potential of my clients,
mm-hmm.
I have the honor to collaborate with my client to find what we call a micro habit.
Micro
Micro habit.
habits.
So
Okay.
breaking habit. Uh, then I share to the listeners and to you, of course,
Mm-hmm.
is when you commit in making new habit or losing a habit that you don't want to do anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The secret is in a micro habit.
Okay.
So micro
Micro
habit
habits.
is, let's say, mm, you want to uh, exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Many times that people are make like action plan. I will do 400 meters run around the complex of my home or at the gym. I
Right.
will 1 hour, 2 hour dedicate my time at gym.
That's
That's
very
all.
unrealistic.
That's not. That's okay. To tell it's not realistic. It's doable. It's
It's
doable.
doable.
But
Okay.
most of the time it's not sustainable.
Right. Right. You'll do it one day, and then the next day you'll kind of like
Yeah, one
forget
day,
about it.
second day, then sorry, you telling, sorry, coach, I forgot. Sorry, coach, I'm too busy.
Happens a
How to
lot.
lock, how to lock the habit is to start with a micro habit, then slowly progressing into a real habit.
Right. So that means you start
Micro
with. Okay.
habit,
Can you give an example of a micro habit?
a micro habit like uh, I
Let's
give
say in terms
myself.
of working out, for example.
Okay, working is I have to make a certain presentation regarding coaching culture, regarding a method of coaching.
Okay.
So there are lots of books, okay,
Uh huh.
thick books. Then at times I can read quite a number of pages and
Mm-hmm.
chapters,
Mm-hmm.
but before I get into the habit of reading every day,
Mm-hmm.
a chapter to chapter a day,
Mm-hmm.
I create a micro habit of reading 2 page a day.
2 pages a day.
You cannot avoid that. You cannot make any defensive reasons of you're not reading 2 page of book a day.
Correct. 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 That's you cannot go against that because it's way too easy.
You cannot go against 1 minute push up.
Yeah, that's easy. That should be achievable.
6 times, it's okay. As long as do it every day.
Yeah.
That's micro habit.
Okay. So that's
And
something
what
small.
is suitable for you? It's regarding so what do you want and what is the attachment. But we can collaborate to find what is the suitable micro habit that you can do to help you to make a new habit that getting you clearer, getting you nearer your authentic self.
Right. Right. That's beautiful, Coach Ricky. Because I mean, like to share with our listener here, I was able to achieve one of my goal that I thought was not possible to achieve because I spoke to Coach Ricky, and it was the micro habits that you told me that I. At first I thought that this goal was impossible. It was a financial goal, and we spoke, right, for like I think an hour or something like that, and you gave me a clear idea, and you told me, okay, stop that. Don't think about that. You do just this a day. Something that's simple, something that my mind was like, this is too ridiculous for me to say no. So I did it, and within a couple of days, I was able to achieve my goal. So thank you for that, Coach Ricky. so, to our listener here, Coach Ricky was the one who actually helped me achieve one of my goals, and that means, Coach Ricky, you can also help our audience in a way for if they wanted to. Okay, so how do you? Yeah. So how do you? How can you help? If our listeners would like to know more about you and how you can add value to them, or they want to contact you, how do you help them?
You can reach me at my main social media and Instagram.
Okay.
Ricky Life Coach.
Ricky Life Coach.
Ricky Life Coach. Or you can just email me, ricky.nuriadi@gmail.com.
Okay, RICKY.NURIADI, yeah?
Yes.
At gmail.com. Wow. And how do you exactly help people, Coach Ricky?
Actually, I'm a professional life coach and leadership coach.
Okay.
But most of the time, I just listen and provoke their true self.
Right. You're more of a listener.
Just talk, just connect. Then let me listen. Let me help you, and let me help the real you, that the power, that the star, and the happiness that already within yourself. Beautiful. And let me prove it that you don't need me.
Right. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I really like when you mentioned that you can help provoke them and to awaken kind of like the star that's in them. So that means like our audience right now, I'm going to sum up everything that I've learned, right, from you after this, because we've been together for quite a while now. So that means like each one of our like our listener today definitely have some sort of attachment within themselves, right? So that means coaching, what you are doing, right, how you're helping people, can help them awaken their true nature.
Yes.
And remove the fog that's disturbing them.
Yes.
Right. Beautiful. So, I mean, like, for our friends here who are listening, you can always, like, contact Coach Ricky, and, like, really, it's going to change your life. He's going to change your life. So, Coach Ricky, I'm going to sum up everything that I've learned from you today, some of the really powerful things, right? So, each human being are actually happiness in their own. They don't need things outside of them to become happy. But because there's fog inside their minds, right? That's the attachment that don't allow them to become the best version of themselves.
Yes.
And then that's because this attachment started as a tool to help us. I really like this definition. Not a part, making something that's not a part of us to become a part of us, right? We invest energetically and emotionally to that thing, so much so that we become too attached to it, like how we are too attached to the two wheels of the bike. And that kind of like fogs our mind and our happiness. And then there are 5 levels of attachment. The first one is your authentic self, and then the next one is preference, and then the third one is identity, right? Until the level 3, it's still okay, it's still fine, because we're a human being. And then after that, internalization and fanatism. This is dangerous. That means you're starting to replace yourself with the attachment. That's profound. And then we also spoke about how attachment can affect our professional life, right? For new employees, they're usually too attached to the idea of the future, so they don't they don't perform from the present moment. For people who are seniors, they are attached to the past, and it will be difficult for them to adapt to the ways of today. We spoke also about a goal and how you should be flexible on the attempt but stern on the goal. And goal is nothing more than your, like, for you to aim your consciousness, but your happiness actually rely on who you really are. That is very beautiful. And in terms of relationship, unconditional love, conditional love, love unconditionally, right? And how you do that is by finding your authentic self and realize that it's your responsibility, not theirs. And then you're going to slowly be able to see them with in their own best authentic version of themselves. And one, the three things you can do at home today to become the best version of yourself is to forgive yourself for having attachment, expand your network, break your habits, and form micro habits.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Is there anything you would like to add, Coach Ricky, to our listener today?
Okay. Perhaps there's some just to help make some emphasis on the danger of the attachment, like um, the negative emotion like fear, fear and revenge and hate. It will comes when attachment are threatened.
Right.
And it's not us. It's outside us. But when we get to attach, then we defend our attachment. We actually defending because it's already become definition of ourselves. The truth is, there are no idea, no object, or knowledge that we need to be complete when we see ourselves as a perfect human being. We are perfect just because we are alive in this present moment, transforming continuously. You see that? Transforming continuously with life. When we really aware of this, we are free. Attachment no longer define us.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I really, really love that. That means when we are true with our own self, we do not submit to fear, because fear is threatening our attachment and not who we really are.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Coach Ricky, for this very beautiful interview that I believe would be
Danny.
Very beneficial to our listener today.
Thank you to our listeners.
We are really honored to have you at Vitamin Consciousness today, and I believe that
same with me.
We've learned a lot, right? So for our listener today who would like to contact Coach Ricky personally, you can always reach him out on Instagram. He's at Ricky Life Coach. Yeah, correct. Yeah, Coach Ricky, yeah?
Yes, correct.
And or you can email him at ricky.nuriadi@gmail.com. Okay, great. So that's it for our episode of Vitamin Consciousness today with Coach Ricky Nuriadi. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to follow. Yeah, don't forget to follow, like, comment, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends and family. And it's me, Vitamin Consciousness, or Nitesh G. Thank you so much once again, Coach Ricky, for today.
Thank you.
We learned
a lot.
Stay
healthy, stay happy.
Stay healthy, stay happy. Thank you so much. So stay tuned with us for our upcoming episodes. This is your host, Nitesh Gianchandani. See you soon.